Dorje Drolo is usually listed as one of the 8 names of Guru Rinpoche. In Tibetan, the word is Tsenge, Guru Tsenge, or 8 names of the Guru. Tsen means name. And a lot of times you'll see this translated as 8 aspects of Guru Rinpoche, as though, Guru Rinpoche is, traditionally he's born at the time of the sign of Gemini, the sign of the twins. So it's almost like suggesting that Guru Rinpoche actually is many different people all in one. But according to the teachings of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche in his brilliant book Crazy Wisdom, take a copy of Crazy Wisdom. You see Dorje Drolo is on the cover, right? So this so-called Crazy Wisdom is epitomized by Dorje Drolo, and according to Chogyam Trungpa's analysis, that actually we shouldn't say 8 aspects of Guru Rinpoche. We should say 8 names, like it says in Tibetan. And what does that mean? Well, if we say aspect, it's kind of like saying, well, there's different aspects or different facets of a diamond. Each one is a different side of a diamond. But the idea of name here has to do with how Guru Rinpoche, he doesn't really have any aspect. He could be anything. Traditionally, they say he is the emanation of Buddha Amitabha, or a member of Lotus family, like according to the Pancha Buddha. He is the Red Buddha or Lotus Buddha family. But actually, he doesn't have any aspect, but he has many, many names because he has a lot of ability. He's able to be many different things for many different people. And so these so-called 8 names or 8 aspects of Guru Rinpoche actually are given by other people. It's not that he has to be one day he has to be one person, another day he has to be another person. It's rather that, different people see him in different ways. And it's their need is reflected. So the need of sentient beings or the need of the disciples of the Mahaguru Padmasambhava accounts for the many different names. In these 8 names of Guru Rinpoche, they reflect different stages of his career or different stages of his life. And, at an earlier phase of his life, he was a student. He was in a later phase, he was a teacher, like a scholar, a master, sort of an all-around kind of scholar and master of Buddhism. And in those aspects, he might have been named, like, for example, Shakya Senge, or Lion of the Shakyas, or he might have been named Loden Chokse. Loden Chokse means somebody whose intellect is very refined and very advanced. But when it came time for him to move into the Himalayas and to go and deliver the Dharma to the Tibetan people or to the Bhutanese people, then he manifested as Dorje Drolo. And the reason is that, in the old days, and it's similar to the situation in America, some parts of America are quite haunted. Certain mountain areas are very haunted, very dangerous. The American Indians knew that these forces, demonic forces, existed in those places, and so they wouldn't go there. They wouldn't even hunt there. There were some places where Native Americans would just never go, because in the past, one of their ancestors found like some kind of demonic force. They knew it was bad luck to go there. So similarly, in the Himalayas, this was the situation. These high mountain areas had very powerful spiritual forces there. And so when it came time to bring Dharma to the Tibetan plateau, first Guru Padmasambhava, he had to tame those forces. He had to discipline those demonic energies. And it wasn't just a question of, beating them up and tying them up and telling them, don't move or I'll kill you. He actually had to convert them to Buddhism. So in order to convert them to Buddhism, he had to take the most outrageous kind of form or the most wrathful type of form. And that's why he became Dorje Drolo. So again, it's not so much that, Guru Rinpoche had his personal reasons that he needed to be Dorje Drolo, but it's rather the situation demanded that he become Dorje Drolo. So Paro Taksang is where he took that form, the first time at least, or the most important moment where he manifested in this aspect of Dorje Drolo was at Paro Taksang. Well, yeah, see, I would say, the tigress, she represents the feminine aspect of enlightenment, okay? But not the usual feminine, like the the peaceful feminine aspect, like white Tara or Yeshet Sogyal, peaceful Yeshet Sogyal, is very beautiful, sensuous, even seductive, but basically very pleasant to look at. And that aspect of the feminine energy is to awaken the wisdom of people whose natures are basically good. People who are basically good are people who are passionate but not aggressive. People who are sensuous or sensual but aren't hostile. And but in the case of these wild nature spirits, that sort of represent, you could say that the nature spirits of Bhutan or Tibet that Dorje Drolo went to tame, they represent superstition and prejudice. They represent fear of civilization. And Buddhism represents civilization. So in order to seduce and control those forces, a very peaceful-looking goddess wouldn't do. Guru Rinpoche couldn't just, bring a very peaceful-looking form of Tara to accompany him. Instead, he had to make a partnership with a tigress, a pregnant tigress. Yeah. So the idea is that a pregnant tigress is a very dangerous creature, because on the one hand, she's going to be a mother, so she has a lot of compassion in her, but because she's going to have to nurse her cubs, she also has to eat a lot of meat. So she has to be very fierce at the same time. So this is, you could say, the tigress is a very fierce type of feminine energy. The secret aspect of Dorje Drolo relates to Dzogchen, or the Great Perfection. And so, the wrathful aspect of Dorje Drolo is really just a way to clear away all of the neurosis and all of the aggression and all of the superstition of the ordinary mind. And when you clear away all of the hopes and the fears of ordinary mind, what you have left is the nature of mind. The nature of mind is the same as the Buddha nature. Sometimes it's called luminosity, or great shunyata, great emptiness, originally pure, and so on. These are the types of words that are used to describe the nature of mind. So really, Dorje Drolo, the secret aspect of Dorje Drolo is to unify and to realize that aspect of mind. But at the outer aspect, let's say, or inner aspect of Dorje Drolo, could relate to more personal reasons. Like, for example, someone who feels quite afraid of ghosts. Sometimes people see ghosts. Some people have the ability to see ghosts. Or sometimes people have very bad luck and they feel like demons are oppressing them, Whether there's really demons or not, I don't know, in Buddhist philosophy, the idea of external demons is usually downplayed, because actually the only demon that really is a threat is the inner demon, or the personal demon, right? Personal hope, personal fear, personal addiction, and so on, or depression, depression and mania, like bipolar disorder or mood disorder, and so on. These also relate to Dorje Drolo. So at the outer level, Dorje Drolo is a refuge for someone who has a lot of emotional difficulty, someone who has a lot of fear, someone who has a lot of anxiety. That person doesn't necessarily need to have an initiation to pray to Dorje Drolo. If they feel devotion to Dorje Drolo, then they can pray to Dorje Drolo. Or if they need to feel safe, they can have an image or a statue of Dorje Drolo. According to Vajrayana or Mantrayana, the way not everybody who is benefiting from Vajrayana has to have initiation or be a mantra practitioner. Just having the imagery itself is beneficial. It's uplifting. Just like the image of Buddha Shakyamuni is very peaceful and very earthy, very grounding, because the Lord Buddha is touching the earth. This is a very grounding, very down-to-earth image. And sometimes that's all we need, is just to be grounded, But sometimes, especially now in the Kali Yuga, emotions can run very high, and also confusion can run very high, and aggression can run very high. That's when a deity like Dorje Drolo or Bhadrakhilaya becomes more necessary, And incidentally, Dorje Drolo, he holds a kila in his left hand, right? And he holds a vajra in his right hand. So, it shows that actually he has the power of Bhadrakhilaya. He's not exactly the same deity, but he also has that kind of power in him, the power to nail down or to stab and stabilize situations that are very unstable and very unpredictable. So, Dorje Drolo is, they say he's crazy wisdom. it means that he's unpredictable, right? But he's only unpredictable from the standpoint of the negative emotions, right? From the standpoint of being Dorje Drolo, he's very predictable. Negative emotions, actually, or afflictions, are unpredictable.